In this episode, you'll learn why being seen naked feels terrifying after 50 and why the mirror was never the real problem. Sexy After 50. Improve sex and intimacy by healing your nervous system so you finally feel turned on and confident. So welcome back to Sexy After 50. So glad you're with me today. I appreciate your time so much. I want to give you 3 reasons to stay until the very end with me. I've got some good stuff for you today. So first, you're going to learn why body shame is not about how you look and why the mirror never was the real problem. Second, you'll hear research on the observer you've been carrying since girlhood and how she climbs into bed with you and steals the whole experience. And third, I'm going to give you a practice, a little bold, that does the one thing lights off can never do. It teaches your body that being seen is survivable. So stick with me. I've got a real quick promo. Don't leave me. It's just a hot second. One quick thing before we dive deep. This August, which it is August by the time you're listening to this, 25th, I'm opening alive my 28-day guided experience to rebuild your capacity for pleasure, presence, desire. If today's episode reaches something tender inside you, that's exactly the work we do inside Alive. So stay close on how to get into that first. All right, let's start with the thing nobody names, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. Somewhere in girlhood, you learn to watch yourself, not to be yourself. I mean, that kind of resonates. We learn to watch ourselves from the outside, the way you imagined other people saw you. Psychologist Barbara Fredrickson and Tomi-Ann Roberts gave this a name in their objectification theory. They found that girls in our culture are trained relentlessly to treat their bodies as objects to be looked at and evaluated. Over time, you stop needing anyone else to do the looking. You install the observer inside yourself, and she never clocks out. Again, this is called self-objectification, and researcher Marika Tiggemann has spent decades documenting what it does to women. Chronic self-surveillance, a constant low-grade background hum of monitoring how you appear. Girl, it doesn't fade with age. For many women, it only gets louder because now the body in the mirror, it keeps changing and the observer has more to criticize. Here's what I need you to understand. That observer is not you. She is a habit your nervous system built for protection back when being judged by the group actually threatened your belonging. Your solar plexus center is the seat of self-worth and personal power, the part of you that gets to decide what you're worth. And self-objectification is a hostile takeover of that solar plexus center. Instead of your worth coming from the inside, from who you are and what you feel, it got outsourced to an imagined viewer, scoring your body from across the room. You did not choose this. It was trained into you. But here's the good news, buried in that. Anything trained in can be trained out. And this is why the mirror was never the real problem. You could lose weight, fix the thing you hate, get the perfect body, and the observer would still be there because she doesn't actually live in your appearance. She lives in your nervous system as a pattern of self-surveillance. Women who look by any measure stunning still turn off the lights because shame is not a response to a body. It's a response to being watched, even when the watcher is you. So let's follow that observer into the bedroom because this is where she does the most damage. Way back in 1970, when sex researchers Masters and Johnson noticed something in their clients that they named spectatoring. It's the experience of mentally stepping outside your own body during sex to watch and evaluate yourself instead of being inside the experience and feeling it. And they found it was just one of the most reliable ways to kill arousal in a human being. Think about what your attention is actually doing when you're a spectator. Do I look okay from this angle? Is my stomach showing? Is he noticing what I'm noticing? You are not in the bed. You're up on the ceiling and watching a woman. You're judging, and your body cannot feel pleasure while your attention is on the ceiling. Lori Brado's research on mindfulness and women's sexuality confirms the flip side. When women can bring attention back in to the present situation, arousal and desire measurably increase. Presence is the medicine. Spectatoring is the poison. This is why turning off the lights, girl, it doesn't fix the problem. You think the problem is his eyes, so you remove his eyes and you're still not aroused. And now you're confused because the eyes that were the problem were never his. They were yours. The observer followed you into the dark. You can be in a pitch black room and still be up on that dadgum ceiling, scoring your own body. Lights off treats the symptom and misses the mechanism entirely. See, your root center is why this fear runs so deep. The root chakra governs safety and belonging, and to your oldest wiring, being seen and being judged is a threat to belonging. And losing belonging once meant death. So when you undress in front of your partner, your nervous system is not running a calm appraisal of your figure. It's running a survival check. Am I about to be found unacceptable? Am I about to be cast out, rejected? That reach for the lamp is your solar plexus, your root chakra, trying to keep you safe from exile. It is ancient, it is vast, and is completely sincere. It is also, in the safety of a loving bedroom, wrong. Your body can be taught that it's wrong, but not through logic, only through experience. Okay, quick promo. I promise it's 2 seconds. Y'all, this is the exact work my book, Are We Gonna Have Sex or What?, is doing. The full roadmap for coming home to a body you've spent decades watching instead of inhabiting, the science and the somatic practices together. Go grab it on Amazon or my website, juliemerrimanphd.com. Okay, let's get back to the important stuff. Here's the piece of science that changes everything. And I love this one because it's a door out. Neuroscientist Francis McGlone made a discovery that should be on a effing billboard. It should be out there, man. Your skin contains a dedicated network of nerve fibers called the C-tactile afferents. They are separate from the nerves that sense pressure or temperature or pain. Those fibers have one specialized job. They respond to slow, gentle, warm touch, roughly the speed of a caress, and they send a signal straight to the emotional and social centers of the brain that says, you're safe, you belong, girl, you're connected. This is the biology of affectionate touch. And here is the part that undoes shame. This system is entirely, completely, and totally blind. It does not process what you look like. It can't. It only responds to being touched with care. Your skin has no idea if your stomach is flat or not. It only knows if it is being touched with tenderness. So sit with that implication. The channel that carries the deepest experience of being loved through the body runs completely independent of the visual channel that carries your shame. They are two different systems. Girl, are you hearing me? Two different systems. Shame is visual, organized around being seen. Affectionate touch is felt, organized around being touched. And you have spent decades letting the visual system run the whole dadgum show, while the felt system, the one that actually delivers safety and belonging and pleasure, sat unused. Your sacral center is the home of sensation, receiving pleasure. And it feeds on exactly this kind of touch. Not on being looked at, on being felt. This is your way out. You do not have to win the argument with the mirror. You do not have to believe you're beautiful before you're allowed to receive. You just have to change which channel your nervous system is tuned into. When slow, warm, loving touch floods the C tactile system, it completes everything you need because it competes directly with shame, that nasty signal that's really trying to struggle to get your attention, that shame signal. But the C tactile system can win because it speaks louder, because it's older and a deeper language of your body. The woman who thinks she has to fix how she looks before she can enjoy sex has exactly everything backwards. She doesn't need a better body. She needs to come back into the channel her body was built to receive love through. Isn't that beautiful? I mean, think about us gals over 50. There is no going back. And we've been fighting this, you be honest. I remember being 16 thinking, oh my God, I'm fat. I don't want to wear this bathing suit. Please. I looked fine. But I was channeled into this shame system, not into this touch system. And it followed me, you, into our adulthood. Over 50, after 50, we can learn to appreciate touch and channel the afferent system. One last reframe before our practice. And this is the one I want you to carry with you from here on. You have been treating being seen as the danger. But being truly seen and staying and not being cast out is not the danger. It's the entire point of intimacy. Your heart center governs the capacity to be open and to let another person in and to be witnessed and remain. And there is no version of deep intimacy that does not require being seen. When you hide your body, you are not just hiding your body. You're rehearsing the belief that the real you is unacceptable. And thus, she must be managed, dimmed, concealed, and your partner feels that concealment even in the dark. And what reads to you as protecting yourself reads to him as a wall. He feels that. Here's the reframe. The most erotic thing is not a flawless body. It is a woman who has stopped hiding. Presence is magnetic. A woman who is fully in her body, receiving, unguarded, meeting her partner's eyes, is experienced as far more desirable than a woman with a perfect figure who is up on the ceiling grading herself. Your partner did not fall for a photograph. He fell for your presence. And every time you dim yourself to hide the body, you also dim the presence, which is the actual thing he wants. Being seen is not the price you pay for intimacy. It is the intimacy. The whole reboot is learning to let yourself be witnessed and discovered that you are, in fact, not cast out. You are, in fact, welcomed. That discovery, girl, it can't happen in the dark. So, here's your practice. It's called Lights On. And yes, that name is the whole point. You'll build it in 2 parts, and you do not rush to part 2. Part 1 is solo. You do it several times before you ever bring in your partner. You lie down somewhere private, eyes closed, and you place your hands on your body, starting somewhere neutral like your forearms, maybe your belly, and you move slowly, warm and gentle, the speed of a caress. Your only job is to feel it from the inside, not to picture how it looks. Every time your mind jumps up to that ceiling to watch, and it's gonna, gently bring it back down into the sensation under your hands. You are doing 2 things at once here. You're waking up the C tactile channel, and you're training your attention to stay inside the body instead of floating outside of it to judge. You do this for 5 minutes at a time. You're not fixing your body or anything. You are changing the channel. And then part 2 is with your partner. And here is where the name earns itself. You leave a soft light on, not the overhead glare, but not the dark either. Enough to be seen. Ask your partner to touch you slowly, the affectionate caress your skin was built for. No goal, no destination, and here's the one rule that does the deepest work. You keep your eyes on his. Not scanning his face for judgment. Don't do that. Not drifting to watch yourself. Just resting in his glaze. Or rather, gaze. It could go to a glaze, but then you want to pull him back in if we get to the glaze. But you're watching his gaze while you receive this beautiful touch. This is the master move because you physically cannot watch yourself from the ceiling while you are locked into another person's eyes. Eye contact evicts the observer. It pulls you out of self-surveillance and into contact, which is the only place intimacy has ever lived. Start with a minute. You will feel the pull to look away, to reach for the lamp, to go up to the ceiling. That pull is the old survival wiring firing, and every second you stay is a message to your nervous system that being seen did not get you cast out. You were seen, and you were safe, and you stayed. This is the exact experience that rewires that root chakra, that place built for safety. You build from there, a little more light, a little more time. You are not performing, you are being confident. You are teaching your body 1 lit minute at a time that visible and safe can finally be the same thing. And after you're done, I want y'all to have an adult conversation about the experience. I do not want this to happen in bed while you're touching. I want you clothed in another room and really make eye contact and have this deep, rich, intimate conversation. That helps to rewire this whole process. So let's land this plane. 3 things I want you to walk away holding. 1, shame is not about how you look. It lives in your nervous system as a habit of surveillance. An observer, you were trained to install in girlhood. And that's why fixing the body never fixes the shame. The mirror was never the real problem. 2, the observer follows you into bed and up to the ceiling, and lights off cannot fix it because the eyes that judge you are your own, not his. Presence, friend, presence is the medicine. Spectatoring is the poison. And 3, your skin does not capture what you look like. The C-tactile system that carries the feeling of being loved runs completely blind to appearance, which means you don't have to win the argument with the mirror. You just have to change the channel from being seen to being felt, and then let yourself be witnessed anyway. You are not too much to look at. You have been carrying an observer who was never you, and you can evict her 1 lip minute at a time. This week, leave the light on. Keep your eyes on his, and let your body find out what it's been too busy to discover. That you are not cast out. Girl, you are wanted. I'm Dr. Jules. This is Sexy After 50. Girl, go get sane. Sexy After 50. Improve sex and intimacy by healing your nervous system so you finally feel turned on and confident.